What is up? It's your boy Ol here, the dark Ol. Ooh, a mysterious political finance channel. And listen, this video is disgusting. All right, this video is disgusting. There's been a news story coming out of Sweden. You know, this stuff's been happening all over Europe, all over the West, every Western country. Every country that a certain country in the Middle East seems to have financial power over. But Sweden seems to be getting the worst of it, honestly. And this news story is absolutely disgusting. Like, it should enrage you if you have a soul. It doesn't even matter if you're from Sweden. Like, this should enrage you. So, basically, I'm gonna run you through a few articles here. But basically, a Swedish girl, 16 years old, has been raped by a Mohammed in Sweden walking home from McDonald's after work, and he seems to have gotten away with it. The excuse they are using is that it didn't last long enough. The rape didn't last long enough. How does that make sense? You're telling me that this Mohammed didn't get deported because he didn't rape her for long enough? I'm sorry. Like, how long are you meant to rape someone before you get in trouble for it? Huh? Does that make any sense to anybody? And you should look at the judge. You should look at the judge. I'll show you the judge soon. Can zoom out. Yeah, I can. I like that beer. Alright, so let's get into it. Now, first of all, boom. Second of all, I'm gonna be because my camera's on the way of my laptop screen. I'm gonna be looking at the side here, so that's what I'm doing. So this is the article I read. A Swedish court has ruled that the Eritrean migrant who raped a 16-year-old, Maya Aberg, is that Maya Aberg? Maya Aberg. Okay. Won't be deported because the rape didn't last long enough. That's a bit weird. The rape took place on September 1st last year when Maya missed her bus and was walking through a pedestrian tunnel after finishing her shift at McDonald's. Maya and her family immediately reported it to the police. The 18-year-old migrant named Yazid Mohammed was sentenced to 3 years in prison for rape. Mohammed is a citizen of Eritrea. Is that how you spell it? Eritrea? Where is that? Eritrea. I don't know what that is. Sounds like Africa. And the prosecutor sought his deportation. Sorry, not deportation. Deportation. Hey, curse. However, the Court of Appeal noted that the man has refugee status. Under Swedish law, deporting a refugee, that the crime committed constitutes exponentially serious offense, and that allowed them to remain in Sweden would pose a serious threat to public order and safety. Now, keep in mind, because I'm reading off my laptop, the writing is that small, so I'm kind of struggling to fully see it. But hopefully you got the gist. This rapist, that seems to be fair to me, right? That seems to be fair. You rape someone, you get deported. You come to someone's land, you're probably on benefits. You're leeching off the citizens anyways. Then you're not even grateful for that because other than the gangs and treating the Swedish people like shit and beating them up, that's a different story. But looking now you're raping them and you're taking their money and you're living in their home. You really are a piece of shit. So it seems fair. It's okay, you do that. Being deported should be the absolute bottom of the barrel. Justice to be served, right? I know for certain that if I was in charge, I don't even know if I can say it on YouTube because I might get banned, but let's just say on YouTube, hanging from, we need to bring the public back. I ain't gonna say it, but, Anyways, continue. The rape of the 16-year-old Maya was not deemed serious enough to justify deportation, with the Court of Appeal citing that, among other factors, the duration of the rape. In its assessment, rape in many cases considered an exceptionally serious offense that could lead to the deportation of a refugee, but an assessment must be made based on circumstances in the individual case. Given the nature of the duration, the offense in question, the Court of Appeal finds that while the crime is serious, it does not constitute an exceptionally serious offense that will warrant deportation. Order for Yazid Mohammed, the request for deportation is therefore rejected. The Court of Appeal for Upper Nolan wrote in its ruling. Wow, that is disgusting. So you're telling me that a Mohammed got away with the rape, got 3 years, which is absolutely nothing in any civilized society for rape. And here's, I don't know, I guess I'll show a picture of her because that is, an innocent girl. Now, this fucking creature, and right now I'm talking about the judge, this creature saw her and thought, she wanted to prove a point. Where we're here. This thing is the judge. Violent assault rate is bad, but it's not excessively bad, so we will let the foreign rapist out in her hometown in 2 to 3 years. Maybe with a bit of bail and good acts of service inside the prison, maybe we'll get away with 1, Woke judge Lina I can't even see her now. Lina Berggren, who will never have to walk through a tunnel after a late shift at a blue-collar job at McDonald's. She looks like she eats all the McDonald's. I'm surprised, actually. I bet she'd walk through many tunnels to get through some of the McDonald's in Sweden. She looks like she eats their entire stock. That being said, this fat bitch decided that she would take pity on a rapist Mohammed and let him stay in this country that he takes advantage of, that he has no respect for, it or its people. She's like, oh, you know what, I'm going to prove that I'm not a racist, that, I believe we're all equal, that, whatever bullshit she believes. She's clearly one of those fucking... She has an LBGT flag at home. She fucking talks to her husband if she has one like shit. And just look at that. Look at that name. Lena Bergren. Lena Bergren. One ugly name for an ugly person who has an ugly soul. Unfortunately, this is what lefties, like, you can see these people on Reddit, they'll fucking defend anything. They will defend anything. You could get burgled, and these Redditors that look like this will go, oh, well, you know, you're likely more privileged than a thief, so, you know, just think of it as a charity, you know, you're just helping someone that needs it more than you do. That's why they robbed you. This is the kind of logic these people run off. So now this thing, who has an address, by the way, not that I'm saying anything there, you know, we all have addresses. We all need to live somewhere. I'm just saying, if I were her realtor, if I were her landlord, I might say, you know what? We don't accept that, bitches, in this territory. Get out. Onto the street with you. Which would probably be more of a punishment than what this rapist has got. So now she's proved her point that, hey, I treat immigrants better than my own race, you know. There's actually like quite an epidemic of white on white hate. You know, white people who've been brainwashed to hate their own race. That's crazy to me, but hey, look who funds that. But now you have creatures like this on the street who are in our lawyer system, and they're letting rape us off with a slap on the wrist. Hey, you know, you're in that. There's a meme with like a police with a stopwatch, and he's just like standing right beside the rape, and he's like, it's only been 3 minutes. You know, it's not that bad. You know, dust yourself off. You know, we're actually being forced, or the Swedish are being forced to live like animals, basically. They are being forced to live with animals, and they're forced to, they can't even fight back because they'll probably have some bullshit law that gets them life in prison if you hit someone that's trying to rape you. That's the level we're at in Europe. Anyways, this woman, Maya Aberg, I'm butchering her name. There's no way it's that. But she made a video. Now, I'm not going to show you who posted this video because I hate him. But I think it's good to watch. It's her, not him.
Jag mår fortfarande illa när jag tänker på det. Jag har ju berättat det här 1000 gånger. Speciellt för polisen och när jag har varit i tingsrätten. Men jag känner ju fortfarande att det är sjukt jobbigt. Under hela skolåret, förra året, så var jag knappt i skolan. Nu då och då så drömmer jag ju fortfarande mardrömmar om det. Och jag har varit jätterädd att vara ute och gå själv. Så jag går nästan aldrig själv ute nu. Jag bryter fortfarande ihop när jag suttit och pratat om det länge och kommit in på detaljer. Att det blir som att jag återupplever det igen och jag känner hans händer på mig. Men som tur så har jag mina jättefina vänner och mina föräldrar som har varit där för mig varenda dag. Nej, det känns så overkligt att det också var för jag kommer alltid påverkas någonting av det här. Jag önskar ju verkligen nu när andra tjejer har det här, det är också därför jag vill göra det, att de också ska tänka att det är värt att anmäla. Även fast det kanske inte går igenom, men det kan faktiskt vara värt För det kan ju också hjälpa en annan tjej.
Traumatized for life. And I even heard that I think her mother was doing like fundraisers so she could afford like professional help. I don't know much about that. I haven't seen too many posts on that, but that seems to be the case. So like, yeah, this girl's gonna be traumatized forever, and the rapist got 3 years, which hey, if he has some like fat bitch like this on his side, then he might only get like 1.5 years for good behavior, and he's gonna be on the street in her hometown. She's already traumatized, and this guy's coming back to her hometown in like a year and a half. And yeah, she should be scared, like, oh God. So it's just some memes here. Rape charges for judges who release criminals that rape again. That should be the case. If this guy goes out on the street and hurts someone, that fat bitch should be in prison for life. Like, she should be stripped of her job title. And these people need to be like humiliated. Like, we shouldn't have to live with like these Redditor type judges or like people with those beliefs. Like, I completely believe in segregation. We shouldn't have to live with these people. And yeah, I think that's the only way forward. We need to just ship all the leftist Redditors off to like their own little island, and I'm gonna die out on my own. That's the truth. Here's another post. I think all men should answer the call if women give up on their right to vote. So this is Bo Refik. He's some fucking European. This is pretty base, to be fair. And this is just commenting on, I think I speak in the name of all European women when I say we no longer feel safe in our streets. Men, it's time to protect us. And this guy says what we all know. These women fucking vote for it, you know? Have you seen women in Europe, UK, these countries? They are on their dicks, sucking these migrant cocks every day of their life. They will do anything not to be called racist, even if it means more women get raped. So that's where we're at. These women vote for it. Men have to deal with it, obviously. All more women get raped. So I think that's pretty fair. I think it's pretty fair that, you know. Anyways, this is pretty traumatic, so I hope you're getting more prepared for what's to come, because it's only gonna get worse. Like, this has only happened in like the last generation. It's only going to get worse from here, for sure. In fact, I'd say it's gonna get much worse before it gets better. You know, World War II ended, and we didn't even leave another world war. The World War continued, and we got the results of losing our war. If you know, you might say we won, but I don't feel like we have. Do you?